Welcome to the Mi Casa Su Casa podcast, hosted by Lisa Saenz, powered by Verly. This is where we interview top business professionals, industry leaders, operational managers, and thought leaders from around the nation, diving into hot current topics to help you experience Mi Casa Su Casa.
Okay.
So today I have Jill on the show today. Jill, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I wanted to get you on. I mean, we know each other originally, I think professionally. We're both kind of in the same industry, real estate and mortgage lending.
Yep.
So that's how we got to know each other. But since, the last several years working together, we've gotten to know each other kind of on a personal level.
We have.
And I wanted to have you on more for that.
Yes.
So, because I always see you posting a lot of things like, very positive, very like how to even, but mostly just uplifting and building people up. And especially women building other women up.
Yep. I feel very strongly about that. So
absolutely. And I think that's something in our culture that maybe, unfortunately, is kind of new. Without, of course, going back to like hashtag Me Too or anything like that. But it really seemed like in history, even women, beating down other women is kind of like.
I think it's just natural human nature. You think you need to knock someone down maybe or degrade someone to feel
better,
empowered or feel better. And I think, but every time you do that, when you go home, you kind of feel like, man, I shouldn't have said that about someone, or it doesn't make you feel good,
Right. Because I think we're all, competition is healthy, but I think there's a different way to do competition or to be competitive without having, just to kill somebody, I guess, verbally in a way.
Yes, absolutely. One of my biggest things is even my competitors in this business, you will hear me be the first person to say, someone will say, don't you wish they weren't open or they weren't doing well? And I'm like, absolutely not. I actually feel like I'm on my best game in life or in work or anything if I have a standard to be held to. And so
right, because you're not being complacent. You're constantly evolving and growing and changing. And
absolutely. And that's, I root for my competitors because they're making me have a higher bar to reach. And it makes me not get complacent. And and that's even in life. Like I want to be a motivator for women in many ways.
Right.
So whether it's success, whether it's being a mom, or whether it's health, or just any of that stuff. So
right, and you touched on a lot of different things that we'll go back and talk about. But going back to women building up other women, and I think that a lot of people, especially women, are like catching on to that. Like it's so much easier to say, jealousy, I think, is the root of it. Really, like you really see something that somebody else has, and without maybe realizing you're jealous. That is, the grass always seems greener on the other side, so you knock them down.
Yep.
Just to try to make yourself feel better. And I think now women are more open, and I think realizing that like we don't need to do that. And
absolutely.
It necessarily doesn't really make me feel any better.
Absolutely. You'll see me post a lot. Like when you hear someone say negative about someone else, reflect on yourself. If you find yourself saying something bad about someone else, I think you really need to self-reflect because it's coming from somewhere inside of you that's not full or whole, that you're doing that because something is not fulfilled within you.
Right.
So, you've hung out with me a lot and we talk about that a lot. You will not find you and I talking about other people.
No.
So that is not how we enjoy our conversation at all.
I mean, it's true because, they say misery loves company, but it's like misery loves miserable company because that's what you're going to be. Yeah, I think, we're all guilty of doing that. I'm not saying I've never spoken bad about anybody. I haven't.
And we all will. All you can do is not be perfect, but find when you do that is just self-reflect and be like, next time I'll do better. Or why am I thinking that way?
Because it is like a guilty pleasure. You do get some sense of relief, I guess, by saying, oh, I just hate this person, or I just don't like this person, or that person is fake, whatever. But at the end of the day, you don't really get rid of it. It still stays with you and it just kind of eats away at you.
Absolutely.
Is what I've noticed with myself.
I agree with that 100%.
So it's just easier just to let it go and say, good for that person or good for her.
Yes. And one of the things I hate too is when someone says, you are fake, how you use the word fake, because you are nice or you are positive. And I actually think it's maturity and professionalism when you
Right.
are cordial and,
Mhm.
don't stoop to that level of saying something negative. So that's how I
Exactly.
feel. So we all have negative thoughts. We all think things. It's
Yeah.
whether you say them and act on them
Act
or
on 'em.
share them
Yes.
is the difference.
Especially
So,
act on them because again, you're a mom like I am. I mean, we have teenagers, and
yes.
one of the things I try to tell my teenager is, an 8-year-old or a baby can throw a fit. I
Mhm.
said, you're too old for that now, so we
Mhm.
got to find a different way, and that never stops with humans.
Yep.
Even as adults, like we can
Even
all
as
throw a
adults.
fit,
Yes.
which is calling somebody out or saying something rude online or anything like that,
Mhm.
or behind their backs.
Yep.
But it really is we gotta react better.
Yes. It's funny that you say the word react. My goal this year has been life gets hard and life is hard for everyone and people
Mhm.
go through hard phases in their life. And I will say that, last couple of years has been a couple of years of growth for me.
Uh-huh.
Been pretty hard. And I will say one of the biggest things that I wanting to work on is I think everything in life is how you react. You
Yeah.
you can't control what happens, but you can control your reaction. And that's probably the biggest thing I've been working on
Yeah.
this last year.
Because
So
and
it's a
that's what I
perfect
tell
word.
yeah, and that's what I tell my son is like you can there's a lot of things you can control and can't control. You can't control what others will or won't do. You can't
Mhm.
it's
Or
usually
say.
this usually relates to the little brothers. I said you
Mhm.
cannot control what your brothers will or won't do. I said, but
Mhm.
you can control how you act and how you
Absolutely.
react. So because
Absolutely.
everybody makes mistakes. It's how
Absolutely.
you react from those or
Abs-
bounce back.
One of my biggest tricks is we live in a world, especially our business. It's stressful or life is stressful. A lot of things anymore come through text, email, how people
Yeah.
communicate in general. My rule of thumb anymore that I try to do is I will write down in any way, whether it's a text, an email, or write it down, and
Mhm.
I will wait, even if it's an hour, even if it's a day. Go back to what you were initially going to react. And once those feelings pass, you realize like you don't feel that way after you initially let it soak in and you have
Yes.
to let it
Uh-huh.
marinate and then you're like, okay, I could probably doctor this up a little bit to sound a little nicer. So
And especially when we're communicating so much via text and not in
Mhm.
person or voice to voice,
Yeah.
that inflection in the way you say the lack of inflection, because we can't hear it over a text or an email, so much can get miscommunicated through text.
Because we read it, especially in the mood we're in too.
Yes.
So you might have sent that text as happy as can be, but I'm in a really bad mood and read it, and I will read it and be like, there was no smiley face in this, and
How many exclamation points does she need? All caps?
yes.
She's yelling or he?
Yeah, and I don't believe in that anymore. When they say like
All
all
caps.
caps, like
I never
yelling.
knew that because I was a stay-at-home mom growing up, and then my
Uh-huh.
husband told me that. He's like, "No, you can't type in all caps. That means you're yelling."
And
And I
I
was like,
disagree with that.
"Oh."
Sometimes I'm like, it's a positive thing. Like it's maybe excitement or it's
Mhm.
just like letting you know something super important out of the rest of the message.
Right.
So
I think of that, I don't know if you watch Key and Peele a lot, but
mm-mm.
they come up in my YouTube feed a lot. And
Yeah.
it's that like, a text message read wrong or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And one is like, yeah, sure, whatever. And the other one's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Oh.
So one guy on the other end is like, yeah, let's meet up, like, oh my guy, I have such a good friend. And the other guy who's getting all agitated and mad shows up to the bar with like, a club to beat his friend because he thought he was talking all this kinds of, crap
Yes.
to him and stuff. And it was totally misunderstood.
Yes. It's amazing though how much text and emails can be especially in our business.
Oh yeah,
High stress, all of that, it can be misread easily. So
absolutely.
yes.
And even sometimes when you react to that text or email, whatever you think, how you think it's coming across, and even though you let it out and you like get back, it doesn't always make you feel better. It kind of
Mhm.
gets you even more hyped up and like, I know I said that, but I'm glad I said it. But should have I said it? How are they going to respond?
Yes.
And so it just keeps going and going.
Yes.
And so
Hence why you should always if it's not a positive text that you're responding back to, maybe you should
hold up. Hold
yes,
up a little bit.
yes, yes. I don't even know if I understand most of my daughter's texts anymore, the abbreviations.
Oh
So that's a
no.
whole nother like
I
topic. I'm
know.
like,
I know.
what does that mean? What do those abbreviations mean?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So and then going back to like, you talked on daughter and your business and things like that. Well, initially how we got to know each other is because we're kind of both in the same industry where I'm in real estate, you're in mortgage lending. So we
Mhm.
both work those and kind of know what those crazy hours are and how demanding this industry can be and
Mhm.
things. But I think one of the reasons that or how I got to know you more personally and was more like open and wanting to get to know you was
Mhm.
because you do such a great job with our clients. You know, you
Thank
are,
you.
you know, you have great customer service. You explain everything to them, whether
Mhm.
it's in English or in Spanish,
Mhm.
because you have a great assistant that, you know, speaks
She's
Spanish.
amazing. She gets overlooked a lot because she's not on social media and things like
Yes,
that.
Jenny. I know you're not
Very
gonna like
low
that,
key.
Jenny.
Yes,
Yes,
she'll
shout
never
out to
watch
Jenny.
this because she doesn't even have social media, but she's
Good for her.
amazing. She's amazing. Yes.
Oh, but so that was one of my first things was that you took care of my clients in such a great way. And then you always were really good to, you know, slow things down, educate them, explain to them why they needed to do or not do something. And then you just always had the client's best interests at
Mhm.
heart. And so to me, I was like, you know, she's got a great work ethic, hardworking, you know, successful, of course, on top of that. So again, I thought, I bet she's a cool person. Let's hang out.
Mhm.
You know, and I think all of those things also translate and go over to like the personal side of you, which honestly, I mean, even though we live in America, I mean, what we do for a career for business is great, but it really does matter like on our personal side
It
what
does.
we're doing. And you know, you're married, you're a mom
Mhm.
of multiples. You have 4 kiddos, right?
Right. Yep.
And two and set of twins in there.
Right. Yep. Yep. Have a set of twins, the youngest.
And
Yep. The youngest ones.
you've been married for a while.
Yes. Oh gosh, you put me on the spot. I think we've been together for 16 years.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yep.
Yes. So you
Yep.
guys got, you know, married right out of high school, as they
Yep.
say, because you don't
Yep.
look like you should be.
Well, we didn't get married out of high school. We've been together for 16 years. We've been married for 12 years. So,
Yeah.
yes.
Pretty
So,
similar
yes.
here. Yes.
Yep. But we did things backwards, and I'm not afraid to say that. We had the child first,
Yep,
then we bought the
same.
house, then we got married. And honestly, you see more and more of that. And
That's exactly what we did. Not
yes,
because we had a plan, it just happened.
just happened, and
Yeah.
life just happens. And
Uh-huh.
kind of going back to, I think that's with clients, they relate to me because I never make them feel like, sometimes it's very personal. Your
Oh, yeah, you're
finances,
exposing yourself
you're
to.
exposing, and so many people get so nervous. And I'm like, so I open up about my story. I'm like, I came from nothing. And
Mhm.
so me and my husband struggled. We didn't have anything. We lived off of things like assistance to get on our feet and stuff like that. I will never judge anybody because at the end of the day, your path is your path.
Yeah.
And I try to make people feel really comfortable when they come in. And I'll tell you, when we bought our house young, we had a 4-year-old. We didn't have much money at all. And
Yep.
buying that first house meant so much to us when someone helped us. And
Yeah.
I really do try to keep that in mind. And so just kind of going back to remembering people are human and
Yeah.
not everyone has the picket white fence story.
No, I mean,
so-
very rarely does
Rare.
anyone. I mean, and
Mhm.
no, it's portrayed a lot. I think it's
Mhm.
put out there a lot, you know, in
Yep.
all the, you know, reels and posts and things like that. But again, those are all edited.
Yep.
And
Perfection is not achievable.
no,
And if
it's-
you're trying to achieve that, you will not be happy.
no, not at
Yep.
all. So like I said, I think, I mean, that's one of the ways that you and I like really connected.
Mhm. I agree
And
with
I
that.
love, like you said, like you're very open about it because I mean, the majority of us are like that.
Yes.
You know, we've all
100%.
made we've all made some pretty dumb mistakes, and we're just trying to,
Absolutely.
you know, climb back out of the hole, or just get back, or just learn from it.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
that's why I'm a big supporter of women and empowering women. Like
Mhm.
I am just
Well, you have a daughter. You have 2 daughters,
yep.
right? So
Yep. No matter what your path is, not saying this is right or wrong, but one of the biggest things, me and my husband did have our daughter young. And the biggest thing my dad being into my head was great if things work out with him. But if they don't, just always remember a man is not a financial plan. So, in other words, even if you don't work things, but just build yourself with the tools, the confidence, the tools to take care of yourself if you ever need to, is kind of my motto. So,
I know, and I think that's funny because I don't know, way back in the day, like when you're, you know, in junior high or whatever, an adolescent, you're thinking, this is how I'm going to be when I
Mhm.
live in my life, you know,
Yep.
because you can plan it like that.
Yep.
And that was one of the things was I'm never going to depend on anybody else and things. And it's kind of sad to hear that, but at the same time, it's all about what can you do, you know, for yourself as well and for others.
Yep.
But
You just always want to make sure that you're fulfilling your. One thing I've learned in the last couple of years is you have to make yourself happy before you can make anyone else happy. And
Right.
part of that is just knowing that you can rely on yourself and take care of yourself and you're confident
Mhm.
and just all those things. So,
So what are some of the things that you've been doing now differently? Because you said the last couple of years you've gone through a lot of like growth and things like that.
Yep.
So, you know, besides, you know, working you work a lot. Like
Yep.
we both do. You're very successful, you're very hardworking, and then you have your 4 kiddos and your husband. And I I'm sure they're running you ragged with events and activities and
Absolutely.
school and family time and everything. So kind of like what everybody else is doing in life. So what are some things that you're doing now kind of differently?
So one of the biggest things is, like I said before, there is no perfection. So once you get past trying to run yourself down ragged, being perfect, you're going to do that if you try to have it all. So you just kind of have to choose things as well. Like there's going to be some days that you don't cook supper, or there's going to be some days that you don't have laundry all done. But what I try to do, because I am the type that I want all those things done and I get overwhelmed, is one of the biggest things that I've incorporated in my life is waking up early.
Okay.
I know that's hard, and
I struggle with that, and I try to do it too. Yes.
I had to start small though. I would set my clock 15 or 20 minutes earlier, and I'd get used to that, and then I do 15 or 20 minutes earlier and earlier. You know, right now I'm getting up about 5:30. My goal is I'd love to get up between 4:30 and 5, but I'm slowly working my way to that.
Right.
But you kind of set your day up for success.
Yes.
I try to do things the night before. I'll first go back. I always start my dishwasher. I know it's small things, but as a mom, these things matter.
Yes.
I always get all my laundry ready in the washer. I always get my dishwasher packed and ran, and no matter how much is in there, I run my dishwasher.
I heard a blogger, like a, stay-at-home mom, successful blogger once say, or vlogger, I should say, never let your washing machine sleep at night. Like always throw a load in right before, throw the dishwasher on right before, and let him work while you're sleeping.
Yep. So I always do that. And then I wake up in the morning. I'm not going to lie. I take a pre-workout scoop. I put a little bit of water and I put my pre-workout scoop in. And man, that thing just instantly wakes me up.
You're going to have to send that over to me because I need that.
Yes, it instantly wakes me up. And you're supposed to take it about 20 to 30 minutes before you work out. And I do work out every morning. I try to do it during the day. And my day always gets away from me and I never let it happen.
So many people say that if they can just get it done right away, it's done and it's one less thing. And then you don't have to worry about trying to fit it in.
Yep. And start out small. I did not start out by doing my full workout that I'm doing now. I just did 15 minutes of free weights.
Yep.
I started out small and then I worked into doing more.
Yes.
But I wake up, I take that pre-workout, I unpack my dishwasher, I change my laundry out, and then I go down and I run. And then I clean my kitty litter when I do that too. So I try to get as much done as I can in the morning.
Yes.
But then I actually have my living room set up. A lot of people, we don't have gyms. My house does not have a workout gym. So I just have my weights in my living room. I have cute weights that look decorative. They look really nice.
So they motivate you to want to use them?
They motivate me. Yep.
Yes.
I just mirror.
Post with them and be like, look at these cute weights.
Yes, they are super cute. They're gold and colorful. I love them. And then I actually
gonna run out and get them.
Yes, got them at Target. So I actually have a mirror underneath my couch, and it's just one of those wall dorm mirrors. I pull it out and I prop it up against the wall underneath my TV, and I mirror my workout up on the TV.
Yeah.
And then there should be no excuse to not be able to work out.
Yes.
You should, and I don't mean that. It just makes you feel good. My working out has nothing to do with looks anymore. It actually has to do with it makes me feel good. Yes.
So whether if it's you time, whether that can be different for someone else, whether it's just having a cup of coffee by yourself, in the morning before everyone else gets going, whatever that me time is.
Yes.
But I think the biggest thing that I hear that you're saying a lot, and I've been listening to a lot of these, how to get things done book, is that you plan.
I plan.
You plan. It's like those that wake up, okay, I'm starting Monday morning, I'm going to start working out, I'm going to have I'm going to go on a diet, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But you don't plan.
Yep.
So it's
I think you plan to do too much at once.
Yes.
I think you have to what I learned.
One thing.
I had to do it in small increments to make them habits.
That's what all those experts also say.
Yes. And then I know that I get all that done, and the part that I look forward to the most is I always make my coffee and I make myself some eggs. And then I sit and I read some motivational, whether it's a regular book or a motivational book. It's my time. I love reading. That's the biggest thing I've incorporated into my life this last year is reading. I just love it.
Have you heard that Savers, that morning routine, that Savers morning
Uh-uh.
routine. So I think it's called Savers. Oh, it's called Miracle Morning. That's what it's called. Miracle
Okay.
Morning. And the
Okay.
acronym that you do is Savers or whatever.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think there's like there's a documentary on it, and I think on Netflix, and then I think there's something on YouTube about it too.
Okay.
Because you're slowly working up to 4:35. So it's about starting your day at 5 a.m.
Yes.
But it incorporates all those little things, like, workout, I think
Organizing.
like reading, whatever all those savers are for. I do it all the time, guys. I just don't want to write all that off.
My biggest thing for reading is, mental illness like anxiety, stress, depression. I think most Americans deal with that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Something about reading and getting off your phone, I will tell you, battling with that stuff in the last couple of years helps you escape too. It just helps you calm down your brain and escape. And so it's something that if you can read, incorporate reading into your life.
Absolutely. What kind? And you're reading right now, like self-motivational or self-help books?
I will read
books?
that a little bit in the morning, but every night I try to calm down my brain and I read for about 20 to 30 minutes and I just read a non-fictional book.
Yeah, something fun.
Something fun. Yep. And so I
50
get all
Shades.
Yes, and I get all my books from the local bookstore, Terrace Books here in town. Cute little bookshop if you haven't been there. So not trying to advertise for people, but it's the cutest bookshop.
No,
so,
yes.
I'm all about local support.
I think Matt went to that. I'm going to keep throwing Matt out here. Matt went to that opening, so he said it was really cute.
Great, cute little bookstore.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yes, yes.
So.
The other key to my success in life is organize your life.
Yes.
I, in every sense, like you just commented on my thing that I'm putting in my car about putting in the back of my
car organizer where it's sitting in the back and it kind of like organizes all the stuff.
Kids' activities, snacks, all of that. So one of the things that throws my days off that stresses me out is when I forget stuff at home because I don't live just right in town.
Yeah, because you have to drive a little bit out of town to go back and get it.
Yep. And then I've just been organizing every nook and cranny in my house because I will tell you there's something about an organized house.
Yes.
That just
therapeutic.
It is therapeutic. Yes. So I just start with one cabinet and
exactly.
One weekend. I do one cabinet per weekend because I'm not going to do any more and stress myself out. And that's what I do.
Yes.
So
yes. I think you and I have been listening and watching a lot of the same, YouTube channels and things like that because there's this one organizer that says the same thing. Like, just do one cabinet. That's it.
Yep.
Do one. And then the next day or the next week, whatever, do the next.
Yep.
Or if you're more like, anal about it, okay, do one room this weekend or something like that.
Yes, that's what I've been working on. So it just feels good to be organized.
It does. It's like just therapeutic. Like it's that home.
Yes. Yes.
I'm so glad I did that.
Yes.
And I'll go back to yelling at your kids about something else. Or whatever. Or the husband, whatever.
And that's never going to go away. When you have kids and a husband, the bickering and that's never going to go away. You can try to do things to alleviate some of that, but it's never going to 100% go away.
Yes.
So,
good. Do you have like a role model or like maybe someone that you looked up to say, I want to do that? Or maybe that kind of helped motivate you kind of reach this point where you are now versus, versus how you would compare yourself in the past?
Not really. I know that what motivates me, it's not really a person, but what motivates me is when someone says I can't. Or when someone doubts me.
Oh, it tells you can't.
Tells me I can't.
Yeah.
I still remember when I got pregnant with Shaylee in college. I got pregnant my sophomore year. I had so many people tell me my future is over or you can't. And so I think I've always used that. And then I think from then on, I've just had so many people say that I've been an inspiration to them. So that just kind of motivates me.
Mm-hmm. You probably didn't even know it.
I didn't.
You're just doing you. You're just,
Yeah. But I'll say my daughter, just being a young mom, you can probably relate to that. Mm-hmm. She just always pushed me. She was always my reason for everything. So yeah, she's kind of the reason why I do everything. So
right, just to show your kids and daughters especially that you can do it. You can do it. Whatever it is that you set your mind to, either you can or you can't. Either way, you're right.
Yep. And nothing's easy. I mean, there were sacrifices. I mean, I've kept every pay stub since I've been at Charter West since 2009.
Oh,
I pulled some pay stubs from years ago, and I was working 22 hours of overtime. Mm-hmm. I was working crazy amounts of overtime and just to build the business. And I mean, it comes with sacrifice.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie, but there's things you learn through life. And I don't know if I'd ever go back to working that much.
Right.
Because you sacrifice other things. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. But it's just, I think as you get older, you find a balance in life. And We all learn what's important to us and what's not. And so we just finding that. I think every mom, working mom, is finding that balance. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been trying to strive for.
And I think that's what a lot of people, like especially women, moms, working dads, everybody,
Everyone
is trying to find that balance. And just know there's not a perfect balance out there. There's not. There's going to be some give and take and some, okay, we're going to do it this way. Okay, now we have to redo that because that's not going to work type of thing. And I think it's always finding the will to want to try again. Okay, let's do it again. Let's rework it type of thing.
Yep. Gosh, I just watched a movie last night and it said, unless you fail, you won't learn. Like failure is how you learn. Failure is how you succeed.
Well,
and
that's what, all those successful people tell you is that people just see like what's on the surface. They think, oh, she so easily got from here to here overnight. And I think that it's like, but what they don't see is what it's underneath, that it's like, and go back down and go down, go back and, of 20 years of doing that. And then you're up here. But even when you're up there, it's still a lot of work.
It's lonely at the top.
Yeah. It's still a lot of work. It's not easy.
No.
You never get to the point where you're just coasting.
Yeah.
Unless
that's right. That's right.
Unless you
And once
retire.
you think you are coasting, something else pops up that's competition for you.
Yes.
And you just
and
have
whether
to
that be work or personal or.
Yes. I will tell you, life is going to be like this. There was a point where I thought, life's great. Nothing can change. This is perfect. My life is perfect. And then things happen and life gets hard and you just have to persevere and just realize there's going to be a light. It's not always going to be dark.
Right.
And so you just have to wake up every day. Some days you're going to dominate it and do everything like I said I do in the mornings. And other days just waking up is enough.
Yeah.
And just going to work.
Because you're alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched that Soul cartoon again this weekend. It's a Disney movie, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I keep looking over. He's my Google over here for everybody. He's Google. He's Alexa. And it's really cute. And it is very uplifting and motivating. But again, I think it'll resonate different with the children versus like the parents, because we've watched it, I think 3 times, and the boys never understand why I cry. And I'm like a blubbering mess. I'm like, but it's just about, you're alive type of thing, and I know it's so cliche, but as bad as it can be, death is so hard.
It is. It is. And I mean, not to bring up, you guys have experienced that here at your own workplace and knowing that, I've even seen a different mentality just in our industry in general, where people don't get as worked up about certain situations because their mentality is that life is short and this isn't life or death. This is something we can work around.
It is. It is whatever we make it.
Yes.
We do make it seem life or death many, many times, but you have to try to step back and say, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? And again, and we're all talking about, Darlene, who was, our coworker and things like that, and our friend and everything. I'm going to try not to cry when I talk about her, but she would always be the one that says nothing is an emergency.
That's
okay?
right.
We're not doctors.
That's
not
right.
firefighters. We're not we're not saving lives and putting out fires.
That's right.
And she said, unless there's like a water leak or something, but then you're not a plumber.
That's right. And that's just the mentality you have to have in life is everything you can work through and you can figure out. It's just your mentality about it.
Yeah.
And that's great advice that she gave.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then she would, because she'd always say, if someone's calling you at 10, do not answer it.
Yes.
Because you're not a doctor. You're.
Absolutely.
And then what she would do, she would call. If I'd called her at 10 o'clock, she'd answer. Like, darn, you're not supposed to answer here.
That's
I know, but.
Yes. No, it's something to keep. It's very important, advice in life that, that it isn't life or death and that you can work through anything. So.
Right.
Well, and that's, I'm not perfect in any way in my life. But I do try to, I have a teenage daughter and, I try to remind her that things that go on in her life, a year from now aren't going to matter.
I know. It won't be that big a deal. I was at my parents' a couple weeks ago and, your mom keeps everything. You never know what you're going to find at your parents' house. I found my diary from 1993.
Oh
I
my
think I was in the
gosh.
6th grade.
Yeah.
And so I was reading through it. And of course I was like laughing. But at the same time, I was like, oh my gosh, everything in here is about friends or boys.
And drama, probably.
Drama.
Everything was the end of the earth. Dramatic.
Yes.
Yes.
But at the same time, it was really endearing because it would say, oh, I met so-and-so this night. She's such a cool girl. And, we ended up being really good friends for years. And it's like, oh, so
Yeah.
but it just gave a good perspective to look back. Of course, like I'm sure we all do and think, oh, it was so crazy. Or we thought it was so crazy back then.
Yes.
It wasn't. And for us, I guess, to kind of keep that in mind, because as crazy as we think it is now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or I'm getting so old. I think it's like, God willing, if I live to be 80, I'll think back and be like, what the hell was I complaining about at 30, 40,
Yes.
50, 60,
Yes.
So
Yes.
I don't know. I guess maybe I'm not 20 anymore, but I'm grateful to have 40 years of life, and I don't think I'm old.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And 40's the new 30, and
Sure.
so I'm like, we're not old at all. So yes, but I'm nowhere near 40, Lisa. So
no, of course not. Of course not. That's just me. Like I said, like you got started, right out of high school, so you have some years on me in that way. But you're a young pup.
Yes. So I have to ask you, how did you get into this business? How did you get into real estate?
Well, I guess to say it in a blunt way, my husband pretty much pimped me out.
Okay.
So, yeah, we were living in Wichita. We were thinking about listing our home, and then the listing agent, the realtor that came by, we just hit it off really well with her. And then my husband just at the end of the actual listing interview, he's like, "Do you mind if I ask you a personal question?" She's like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Do you need, or what did he say? Do you need are bilingual agents needed in this industry?" And she was like, "Yes, and so she's like, "Do you speak Spanish?" And she hired me right on the spot.
Really?
So that's how I started. Yes, because he always thought, because I was always in customer service. I always worked like in a restaurant, and he would always, and I always kind of like, I was a stay-at-home mom working in a restaurant part-time in the evenings, which I mean, looking back, I'm very grateful for, because I got to stay home with my kids. But I never knew, like, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? Like, I'm supposed to have a career, right? And I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I always felt kind of lost in that sense.
Yeah.
So my husband was always trying to help.
Sure.
And he would just say something like, you need to do, you would be good at real estate. You'd be good at this. You're good with people and you speak Spanish. And so that's kind of how one thing led to the other. And long story short, my husband pimped me out pretty much. So
it's a perfect example, though, of how I truly believe it's never too late to, at any point, to follow what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean,
and going back to Darlene, how old was Darlene when
Darlene was like in her 50s, I think,
when she decided to become a realtor, and she was doing awesome.
Yeah, she was rocking it, as they say in the industry.
Yeah. So it just shows that if you have a dream, follow it.
It's never too late.
It's never too late.
Yeah.
So
and I have to remind myself of that too, because of things like, oh, I should have done that then, but now oh no, it's not too late. But then do something about it.
Yes.
Don't just keep saying it's not too late. It's not too late, because it's not. But do something about it.
Absolutely, and that's huge. It's just anything in life. Like if you want to lose weight, if you want to have just growth in general, whether it's career, personally, you have to do something about it.
Yeah, and there's never that finish line, and I don't say that and trying to sound like it's never ending.
Yes,
but you're never going to reach that. Okay, I'm here and now I'm supposed to be happy.
Yes,
it's ever evolving. It's ever going. It is. You can be happy now, even though you haven't done, haven't lost the weight, haven't climbed Mount Everest, haven't, whatever. But you can be happy now.
Yeah,
and be okay with it.
Yeah.
But you just have to be okay with it.
Yep. Yep. And you have to set goals too in life. Like whether they're small or big, you just have to have a goal.
Absolutely.
Whether that's just the next day, this is my list of what I need to do. Just try to get as much as you can done.
Yep.
And so there's just something about getting things done each day.
Absolutely.
So it's good for your mental health is what I truly think. So
I mean, like I said, this is honestly like why you and I have become like so close, and how we can get along so well, because just like this. I mean, this is literally like a conversation that we would have had, like,
we do,
at the coffee shop or at the bar,
Yes, we do enjoy having our drinks.
Yes. So, and like I said, I just thought, like, I saw one of your posts the other day, and it was something about inspiring or building people up, and I was like, you know what, I need to have Jill on and just put this out there for other people to listen to. Not that we're like these, wise, women or anything, but I think it's just good to hear because everybody, I think, feels the same way or at least similar to the things that we talk about. And I think it's very relatable. I guess is what I'm trying to
Absolutely.
say.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I have to, I do a lot of motivational posts for others, but I do it for myself. Like
Yeah.
I'm talking myself up every single day.
Mhm.
So life is hard in general for everybody. And you just have to, the way you talk to yourself is the way that is how you're going to be. So if I
Yes.
wake up and I'm negative to myself, that's how my day is going to be. But if
Yeah.
I wake up and say, I actually across my mirror, I got it off Amazon. It just says, "You look amazing."
Oh,
And
Mhm.
I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put that in front of, and put it on have that in my mirror so I see that every single day.
Yes.
And so,
Even when we
that's-
first wake up.
yes. And that's my trick in life too, is I truly believe get up every day and get ready. Whether that's just putting on a little bit of makeup or washing your face and
Brushing your teeth.
brushing your teeth and like just doing a little bit of something. Get dressed. Don't hang around in your pajamas. Like get up
Yes.
and just get a little bit ready and your day will be so much more productive.
Yeah.
So
I can definitely see that too.
yep, that's my little trick to life. I always put on a little bit, I don't care if I'm a workout or anything. I put on a little bit of makeup,
Mhm.
just get ready. Even if I put on my cute workout clothes, I just feel that much better.
Mhm.
So
Well, I think there was like some old like movie star back in the days. She has some kind of quote saying something like, "Well, I'm not." Something like you're never ready until you have lipstick on or something like that.
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That is so me.
It was something really
So,
just, yeah.
yeah, I
And
love that.
And again, you think back to the women of that era, because I think it was like in the 50s or 60s where they were always just presentable,
Mhm.
always presentable.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Oh yeah, my big saying is look good, feel good. So or is that look good, feel good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yep, that's what I
Absolutely.
truly believe. So
So, and I think you probably already talked on this, but to kind of wrap things up, if there was like a little hidden gem or a little something about Columbus or even the surrounding area that you love, that you enjoy, that maybe other people don't know about, it could be something small. I think somebody pointed out like somewhere where they like to go, like look at the sunset. Somebody pointed out something in like in Omaha. I mean, just a lot of different things. Is there anything that?
I personally, I know it's not open to the public, but I love our lake and the river. Like I just feel such a
Mhm.
sense of peace and calm. So I just
So any of the kind of, I guess like lakes or rivers around here, right? 'Cause
yeah,
there are a
there
lot.
are. Yep, we just love now going on the river with our kids, and I think it's pretty dry right now. I saw people driving Jeeps on
Yes,
it, and it was
is.
so
It's pretty dry. Mhm.
Yes, and so, but I just love our water time, and
Yeah.
that is something that
Kind of like
um,
connecting back with nature.
yes, it's so
Mhm.
peaceful.
Mhm.
So, yep, that's my favorite thing is we go for walks along the river or any of the other day though we went too far, me and the kids, and I'm like, I forgot my cell phone. Who's picking us up?
'Cause when you walk, then you have to walk back.
Yes.
Yes,
And
yes.
convincing 6-year-olds and 5-year-olds of that, they did not believe me. So we almost didn't make it back.
So anybody seen Jill and the kids? They refuse to walk.
In my mind, I'm like, I think we're like 2 blocks from home, and I feel like we're gonna die. We're not gonna make it.
Right? Somebody come get me.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, well, Jill, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
on. Like I
thank you
said,
for having
I
me.
just, those were the reasons why I wanted to have you on. And I just thought it would be a good message and a good listen to, and hopefully just brighten somebody's day.
I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
and I think the same of you. So
Well, thanks.
Yes,
Thanks. So
yes.
we can neither confirm nor deny whether we'll go back to work after this or if we'll go get a drink. So that will
Agreed.
follow. Document.
Thanks,
All right,
Lisa.
Thank you.